beautiful flowers to start the day. And a friendly kitty cat. Astrid. It's time to read. Hey y'all, welcome to the family that reads a lot. We've been reading a lot. So it's summer, it's hot, the kids are doing a lot of reading to fill the time when they don't want to be outside. So got some middle grade novels here today. To recap, my son is 11, my daughter is 8. He's solid middle grades, she does middle grades and upper elementary depending on content. Gonna give you their opinions, how they like these books. I don't have any from me today, so this is all their books. So, gonna start with one that was in the library hall the other day. This is Unicorn Island by Donna Galanti. My daughter read this, she really enjoyed it. It was a quick read for her. She rated it, let's see, she gave me some notes here. I think she rated this one 5 stars. She really enjoyed it. She said that the graphics in this book, and I have to think this has to do with it being the Epic book because I think these were actually published online as like ebooks first. But she said the graphics, the pictures are really, really good. So they have these nice pictures sporadically throughout the book that she said were just awesome. It's a really good quality book too. Now granted it's a library book, I don't know what these would cost to purchase, but this was a quick read for her. It's not a super thick book. She read it in maybe 2 days and I think it's like 200 pages. But basically the premise is the girl is kind of struggling. She's having to move a lot. She's losing friends. So she's kind of got that struggle going on. And then she ends up moving with her uncle who's pretty mean to her and doesn't really like her. And they have to work through all of that at the same time finding out that he is a fog keeper who keeps the unicorns on this island concealed. And then I know that later in the story, a veterinarian comes in. So this was right up her alley with, you know, like a little bit of magic, a little bit of veterinary, because she loves that kind of stuff. So she really enjoyed this book. Her next one was Little Cat's Luck by Marion Bauer. Same thing, she really enjoyed this book. This is actually a free verse novel. She hasn't read a ton of these, but really enjoyed this one. She's read a few. Her thing was, she gave it 4 stars because she said that the fact that it was a free verse novel at points made it hard to read. So with free verse, they write differently. And this, and curled into a ball, was like this. There's one here that is wash rags written out like this. And she said that when it's like that, it's hard to read. So that was her only like criticism of the book, but she enjoyed some of the illustrations in it. She said overall it was a good book. It was a fun read. There's another one in the series called Little Dog Lost that I'm looking to pick up for her. So that was a win. The next set is actually a series of books. She grabbed this one at the used bookstore, which is Peg Carehart and Pete the Cat are considered the authors, and it's called Spy Cat. Now, when she grabbed this, I didn't look super close. They were going through and getting books and all the things, and it looked interesting, had a cat on the title. I kind of glazed over the back of it, but just said that's fine because it came out of the kids section. So what it is, she read this one. She enjoyed it, but she did say that there were some kind of not scary parts, but maybe a little creepy parts. Someone's breaking into houses in this neighborhood. So that was part of this. She asked me to order the other 2 in the series, and I did, because she didn't have a huge problem with it. But the first one, once it came in, actually has a house on fire. And somebody setting house fires, which the cat ends up saving everybody in this series. The other one is called Trapped. So it ends up happy, but I would not consider this an elementary book, which is where it was shelved. I would definitely consider this a middle grades because it has like that suspense thriller type thing going on in it. So just a little caution on those, but she enjoyed them. We've read some Peg Gerhardt's before, or I don't even know if that's how you pronounce her name. Gerhardt, I don't know. But they've kind of had this suspense type vibe to them, so I shouldn't have been surprised, but next time I may pay a little more attention to what she grabs. The last two are for my son. One is just a series that he's been reading forever. So this is Last Kids on Earth. He rated this 5 stars. He's always enjoyed this series. This is the 8th book in the series. Basically, it's kids versus zombies. There's been like a zombie apocalypse. These are by Max Brailler. They're really heavily illustrated. He started this series years ago, and they've continued to come out slowly. So he's just still kind of reading it because he knows what's going on. It's not necessarily what he reads too much anymore, but he still enjoys them for the story. They're really hard to get at our library, and that's part of the reason this one's been out a little bit. There's actually one more out, but that's part of the reason that he hadn't read this one yet is you have to put in a hold, and then it can take a really long time. And so he was excited when he saw this at the used bookstore, and I'm like, hey, grab it, read it. Once you're done, we can trade it back in. So the last one from him is No Better Friend by Robert Weintraub. Okay, this is, my son really loves dog war stories. So like dogs that are working with soldiers, dogs that are police dogs, those kind of things. He's really into that. So I grabbed this one for him because it's a World War II story. He went ahead, I was going to assign it to him this year for school. He went ahead and grabbed it off the shelf. This is a heavier book. I was actually anticipating him getting into this like this time next year, so he would actually be a whole nother year older, and would be 12, almost going on 13. But he wanted to read it now, so I let him. It is the story of Frank, and the dog's name is Judy, and Judy, basically it talks about what they're doing in the war. I think they're both on different ships. She's part of the dog's part of the Navy, I think. But basically both of their ships get sunk, and they get sent to a prisoner of war camp in, I believe it's Japan. And so it's the way that the dog helps the soldier survive, which I may end up reading this because it's interesting to me that they even, like in a war situation, I'm actually surprised they even let the dog live, much less took her to the camp. So I've got some questions that I don't fully understand what happened, but he really enjoyed it. He said there were some heavy things in here. So there were discussions on the treatment of the prisoners and some things like that that were kind of hard, but being that I had picked this out to go with a World War II unit, those things are kind of hard. So, you know, it's one of those books, may want to read it beforehand, but depending on the age with him, I knew that he would be fine with it. So those are the, I say 5 books. One of them was a series, but those are the books for this little review. Got some stuff that we're reading right now. I went ahead and jumped into Amari. My daughter is doing the Castle book that I talked about the other day, so going to get her opinion on it. Have some different things coming up in the next video, so definitely come back, check it out, give the video a like if you liked what you saw. You know, if you're looking for these kind of videos and want to see them as they come out, there'll be review videos, library hauls, thrift book hauls, stuff like this. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all for listening. From the family that reads a lot, we hope you read a lot too.